I need to apologize. I kind of forget that edge scrolling is still used by so many people, and this is on me. I did mention it in my Sims 2 settings guide because there is a setting for it, but I didn't really pay it any mind because personally I haven't used edge scrolling for at least 15 years. Even back when I was like a teenager playing The Sims 2 on full screen, at some point I stopped edge scrolling because it was too slow and I had to move the mouse too much. So whenever I talk about how windowed mode saves The Sims, any installment of the game really, but usually it's the case of The Sims 2, I completely forget that there are people out there for whom switching to windowed mode or borderless is a huge transition because you can't move the camera around by taking your cursor to the edge of the screen anymore. You can only do that with the arrows or WASD on your keyboard or right click and drag, which is what I do. And I'm super used to it. So you guys have to completely relearn one of the most basic mechanics that you use all the time. And I understand how this can be frustrating. I hate changing habits. And now, with patch 6 to The Sims 2 Legacy Collection, you just have to get used to a new method of moving the camera around. The game is now by default always in either windowed mode or borderless. The Alt-Enter combination now only switches between the two. Full screen is completely disabled. There's no way to bring it back with shortcuts, commands, etc. It is good for the game's stability, but a nightmare if you're used to edge scrolling. Even though you can technically turn it on and off in the settings, edge scrolling just does not work if the game is not in full screen. Which is lame, honestly, because some games have their window locked and it doesn't matter if you play it in a window or full screen. And if that was the case for The Sims, edge scrolling would still work. Another issue people have with this update is that the user interface is too small. Well, I've been playing with a UI like that for years, but even I had to get used to it a little bit, and I realized people have different sight abilities that EA didn't take into account at all. They did in The Sims 4, because you can scale the UI in the settings there, which is awesome, but I'm guessing they don't know how to scale it in The Sims 2 anymore. They really don't know what they're doing with this game. And if you have a 4K screen, the UI becomes practically invisible. This is pretty much the reason why I don't have a 4K screen, because I play in borderless and The Sims 2 is the most important application on my computer. I don't have the Legacy Collection, by the way. Why does this happen? Borderless mode automatically adjusts to your screen's resolution. That's how it works. So if you used to play on a smaller one, like 1600 over 900 for the UI to be bigger, now it's not possible. You can change it in windowed mode after you switch to it by Alt-Enter, but then the window will be smaller. So kind of the same problem with stuff being unreadable. And switching back to borderless will change the resolution back. So the only thing that you can do is changing your system's resolution entirely, which is super annoying that you have to do that to play one game. On Windows 11 you can set multiple different desktops, but unfortunately resolution settings apply to all of them. So you'd have to either live with this resolution on a daily basis or change it right before you launch the game. That sucks. I hope they release another update that will reverse some of these changes, but my expectations are not high. That's it for today. Hope you at least felt validated or informed by this video. Happy simming!